Okay, today's lesson is over the body systems that help you absorb and distribute nutrients throughout your body. So if you look at on your notes, number 1 on your notes, what does every cell in your body need? Every cell in your body needs oxygen and food. Oxygen and food. Okay. We've already talked about this before when we were talking about cellular respiration. That was when it's the opposite of photosynthesis, happens in eukaryotic cells. Okay, that's how we get energy. Okay, what solves this need within your body is your cellular respiration. So that's for number 2. Okay. The reason why we need a steady supply of food is so that we can make our proteins that we've talked about, so we can copy DNA, and so we can expand our membranes. We do have different body systems that will absorb and distribute oxygen and nutrients to all of our cells, and those are the ones that we're talking about today. So number 3 on your note says, which body system absorbs oxygen? Absorbing oxygen is your respiratory system. Your respiratory system. The main organs that absorb the oxygen for our body are our lungs, and the air will move in and out of our lungs as we breathe. We should all know that because you can practice it yourself. There are 2 organs that help the lungs breathe. One is the diaphragm, and the other one is your rib cage. Diaphragm is the muscle right underneath your lungs, and it will actually go up and down to expand and contract your lungs and open up your lungs so air can go in. The body system that the diaphragm is a muscle. The diaphragm is a muscle. That's for number 6. And it says, which body system is the rib cage part of? Well, you know that your rib cage is a bone, so it's your skeletal. That's for number 7. Okay, your rib cage is made of bone, and it's also made of cartilage, so you can expand. That's why you're not so rigid. Is when you breathe in, your chest gets bigger, and when you breathe out, your chest gets smaller. Okay. Okay. Your next question asks you, what are alveoli? That's a fun kind of word. Alveoli are tiny sacs filled with air. Tiny sacs filled with air. You look at this picture down here really quick. This is alveoli, are those little kind of grape-looking things, and they have the vessels laying on top of them and going across them. And the reason why they have blood vessels is so that they can, the air and oxygen can diffuse into the blood. Remember, diffusion means that it's going to travel through a membrane. So it doesn't actually bleed into, it diffuses through those membranes. It goes through, the molecules will actually go through the membrane. More new vocab, okay. Once in the blood, the oxygen will then attach to hemoglobin. That's your next question, is hemoglobin. Okay, then you should be at your gray box. Your gray box says oxygen traveling into the bloodstream shows the respiratory system interacting with what other system? So oxygen going into your blood is going to be your circulatory system. That's inside your gray box. Okay. Next question asks you what gaseous waste product is made by every cell. What gas waste product is made from your cell is a carbon dioxide. We already know this. Carbon dioxide is a waste because of cellular respiration that we've talked about. If we were to exhale carbon dioxide, what does it mean to exhale? Is we get rid of. Okay, you breathe it out. Exhale means to breathe out or to get rid of. Okay, if we're getting rid of something, it's leaving our body. The next gray box asks you, carbon dioxide being breathed out shows the respiratory system, helping with what other system? That is your excretory system. If it's exiting your body, it's your excretory system. Excretory like exit, remember? I told you that one. Your next question is an easy question. It says, which body system digests and absorbs nutrients? If it digests something, your digestive system. Digestive system. Okay, the organs in your gastrointestinal tract, that's your next question. What tract absorbs nutrients from the body? Your gastrointestinal tract absorbs the nutrients for your body. The prefix gastro means stomach. Gastro means stomach. Okay, digestion always begins with the mouth, and as you chew the food into small pieces, you also get to introduce saliva into your food, which will help to break it down. So, the first step of digesting your food is chewing in your mouth. Food is moved through the digestive system by a series of muscle contractions known as peristalsis. Okay, your question asks you, what is peristalsis? It is how food is moved. It's a series of muscle contractions. Write it down first. A series of muscle contractions. Okay, think about how an earthworm moves and how part of it goes forward and the rest of it comes next and then the rest of it. That's kind of how your body pushes nutrients through your body. And so it's gonna, when you swallow, you can actually feel it. If you put your hand on your throat and swallow, you can actually feel your throat contract at one end and push at the next. Okay, so your next question asks you, chewing and peristalsis both require the digestive system to interact with what other systems? That is your muscular system. It's your muscular system. Okay. Now you have what digests large molecules into smaller subunits. We've already done this. That's called an enzyme. It's called an enzyme. Okay. Along with food, we also need what if we're going to survive? That's right. We're going to need water. Last one on the front is water. Okay. First gray box in the back asks you, food and water traveling to the blood shows the digestive system interacting with what system? That is your circulatory system. Your circulatory system. It interacts directly with the circulatory system as those nutrients diffuse into the blood. Okay, I didn't know if you know this, but you do have little creepy crawlies that live inside you. You actually do have bacteria that live inside you, and they actually help you to digest your food. So your answer for the next one says, what lives in your intestines and helps you to digest food is bacteria. Bacteria. The last section of large intestines is called the colon, as your next answer. The colon. It absorbs water and salts from the food and actually stores the remaining solid waste until you eliminate it. So it actually does store your solid waste, which is your boo-boo. That's in your gray box, by the way. Solid waste being stored is, solid waste being stored in the colon shows the digestive system interacting with what system is your, again, excretory system, because it's going to exit your body. Because it's going to exit your body. Okay. Now we're on to the question that says, which body system distributes oxygen and nutrients? If you are distributing or circulating anything, it is your circulatory system. Circulatory system. The organs that help you do this is your heart and your blood vessels. Heart and blood vessels. And the main tissue of your circulatory system is your blood. I'm sure you all know this question. It says the heart is primarily made from what other type of tissue? It's known as muscle tissue. Heart is a big muscle. Okay. You will see the word cardiac, like or cardio. That means your heart. The heart shows the interaction between the circulatory system and what other system, and that is your muscles. The gray box says the heart shows the interaction of the circulatory system and what other system, and that is your muscle system. Okay, what are blood vessels? Blood vessels are basically surrounded by a layer of muscle, but they're just kind of little streets that your blood travels through. Blood vessels are streets. It's how the blood travels. It's kind of the streets of your body. Your next question says, what are the blood vessels surrounded by that controls blood pressure? It's surrounded by a layer of muscle. What are blood vessels surrounded by that controls blood pressure is a layer of muscle. Okay, right next to your notes, it says describe arteries. I want you to write away really big. Okay, put away and then put dash, take blood away from the heart. A. Arteries take blood away from the heart. Okay, then you have veins. Veins are going to return the blood to the heart. Arteries away, veins are back to. And then you have capillaries. Those are the ones that allow your blood to mix. Allow blood to mix with tissues. Allow blood to mix with tissues. Okay, your new blood cells are actually made in your bone marrow. Bone marrow. Blood cells being made in bone marrow shows the interaction of circulatory system and what other system. If it's made in your bones, it's going to be your skeletal system. There are 3 types of blood cells that you're going to need to know and to understand. They're all made in your bone marrow, and they're all specialized for different jobs. The first one is your red blood cells. Red blood cells carry oxygen to all the cells. That's their whole job, is to carry oxygen. On the front of your notes, we told you that oxygen binds to something inside your blood cells, and that's hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. The second type of blood cell is a platelet. A platelet allows blood to clot. Allows blood to clot. Another fancy word for clot is coagulate, which is a fancy word for clot. It means that it can group together so you stop bleeding. Because if you've ever gotten cut before, you don't bleed forever. Eventually it's going to stop bleeding as long as you hold pressure on it. And it's going to clot. Your next type of blood cell is a white blood cell. As part of your immune system, they defend the body against pathogens, which are disease. And remove old cells. Defend body against pathogens, which is disease, and remove old cells. Okay, and your last gray box says white blood cells show the interaction of the circulatory system and what other system, and that answers your immune system. It works with your immune system. Okay, I know these notes were long, and I'm sorry. If you did not get it, make sure that you look on your Edmodo account to get all of the notes off of there. If you need help, you can see Miss Key in D207. And then I will need you to make sure that you got all of the important questions that are in the gray boxes correct, okay? So if you need to, you can trade your notes with another student. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.